Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my November 2017 Gemini horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Well, anyway, people, the first thing is, the sun is going, as far as November goes, the sun will be in Scorpio from the 1st to the 22nd. So the sixth house is what is going to be highlighted and emphasized for Gemini. So there could be a strong focus perhaps on the transformation of health for Gemini. Maybe it could even be something connected with their daily routine, maybe their work life to some degree. This could be something where there might be a strong focus on investigating matters pertaining to the health, to the routine, and doing things and maybe shining in work-related matters. That could be something Scorpio-related, such as astrology, the supernatural, or the occult even. So anyway, well, as far as November goes, well, the sun will be in Sagittarius from the 22nd to the 30th, and of course the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So this could be a time where there could be a strong focus perhaps maybe on expansion connected with relationships, business partnerships. Perhaps there could be a lot of this exuberant and enthusiastic energy put into 7th house matters. It could even be into legal matters as well. But remember that Sagittarius, of course, is ruled by Jupiter, and the energy, even though it's mainly benign and benevolent, could be paradoxical as well. And it could be where you might have an expansion of open adversaries in court situations to deal with during this time. There might be a strong focus on that. So anyway, well, the full moon will be in Taurus on November 4th, and the 12th house will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So this could be something where maybe something finally comes to an end, a culmination for Gemini, that in a private matter, something that was maybe some hard, laborious work and seclusion that required a lot of this Taurus patience, persistence, and perseverance comes to a close. The full moon could also be about what we're full and tired of. It could be someone in the life that was impersonating themselves as a friend that turns out to be a hidden enemy. That finally Gemini has said, okay, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to find out this person, this duplicitous person or what have you, I'm going to get, they're going to be eliminated from my life. I don't need them anymore. See ya, don't want to be you. Weeding those people out that were really friends, and I mean that were pretending to be friends and really hidden enemies or adversaries. So, and could also be people that, for example, on the internet bothering someone anonymously and you don't know who they are, but maybe it's a time when Gemini says, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to use my ability and weed these people out and find out who they are, and do it with this Taurus-like persistence and tenacity. So anyway, well, also the new moon will be in Scorpio later on in the month, and when it does, the 6th house is what will be emphasized. I believe it's the 18th for the new moon in Scorpio. To check on it though, the new moon in Scorpio and the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, Gemini may embark on some new work endeavor. It could be something that's very transformative. It could be something connected with something Scorpio-like, such as the occult, the astrology, supernatural. It could be doing some investigation, something that is tied in with deep research and it is incorporated into Gemini's daily routine. It could be a new health regime that Gemini goes after with an abundance of passion and intensity. And anyway, well, as far as November goes, Mercury will be in Scorpio from the 1st to the 5th, and the 6th house will, again, that will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So there can be a lot of incisive and maybe even caustic communications at this time with fellow employees, maybe people that are involved in Gemini's health regime and even in the daily routine at this time too. That the Gemini might be more about being very probing mentally and trying to and working hard to detect subterfuge in others and understanding maybe the subtle ways maybe sometimes people are talking. But keep in mind too that I think sometimes when you have like this Mercury and Scorpio energy, that it could be about really looking too deep into things and trying to see hidden innuendos and subtle meanings that might not actually be there. And in this case, the sixth house being emphasized, those people connected with one's employment, Gemini's health, or people in their daily routine. So anyway, well, Mercury, as far as November goes, will be in Sagittarius from the 5th to the 30th, and the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, well, Gemini might have a lot more very blunt, outspoken communications, perhaps with that significant other, if applicable, with open adversaries, with people in court, perhaps speaking their veritable truth, what they feel is actually very truthful. And not really maybe taking the feelings into account of the person on the other end. There can be a lot more communications with others in general, and doing so and really communicating and being very maybe optimistic in that process and really thinking very positively. And it could be pertaining to legal matters. It could be matters in a business partnership situation, and being very philosophical as well in their thinking over matters pertaining to significant others. So anyway, well, as far as November goes, Venus will be in Libra from the 1st to the 7th, and the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, well, Gemini may be striving for a lot of peaceful situations, perhaps with children, if applicable, with somebody maybe in their love life, in their romantic life, having really having an enjoyment, this Libra balanced enjoyment, perhaps with things connected with fun, maybe with speculation, even with gambling perhaps to some degree, but doing so with a lot of this Libra fairness and equilibrium, so to speak. And really, there might be more of an enjoyment maybe for artistic endeavors as well during this time, for things that are refined, that are really that could be very artistic, and really and things that might really be aesthetically appealing as well. I would say this would be a time where there could be very strong enjoyment in this. There could also be some money. I mean, Venus is about money too, so this could be about getting income perhaps from some artistic hobby, perhaps as well, or something. It could be some kind of something from a hobby maybe, or something that Gemini just truly enjoys and has in something that's very creative. So anyway, well, Venus will be in Scorpio as far as November goes from the 7th until the 30th, so the 6th house will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, there could be very strong maybe enjoyment, you could say, in something work related that's done with a lot of Scorpio intensity, that's done with a lot of passion, that's really done in a way where, I mean, with a lot of this single-minded focus. And things also could be enjoyed, maybe there could be more enjoyment in the workplace by maybe digging deep, by doing things of an investigative nature, having enjoyment in problem solving and getting to the bottom of things, perhaps incorporating this into the daily routine, enjoyment maybe of astrology, occult, supernatural matters in one's daily routine. This is, and also it could be about making a transformation, a love of transformation of health, perhaps, and it could be about getting more money maybe through something work related. I mean, people that are unemployed are always making money. I understand that. But because we're talking about Venus, the planet associated with money, there might be a little bit more connected with that. And it's also, I mean, Scorpio energy could be crisis related. So it could be about maybe even tackling, having certain enjoyment, even handling crisis situations at the workplace. And also, it could be that a relationship may begin for Gemini, if unattached and without a significant other, from somebody that they meet at work, their place of employment, or somebody even that maybe that's tied into their health, such as like some kind of fitness instructor, perhaps. And I mean, some cases it could be a Scorpio person or somebody that embodies that Scorpio-like energy, someone that's very resilient and very passionate, very intense, willful, and a person that really sees through the heart, gets to the heart of matters, very incisive. So anyway, well, the next thing is, okay, Mars will be in Libra still, in as far as November goes, and the fifth house will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. Well, when you're talking Mars in the fifth house, of course, this could be certain acrimonious and contentious situations with children, some with a romantic partner, perhaps. It could even be, I mean, it could really be more about doing things of enjoyment that have a little more competition in it, something sports related. Given that this is Libra, though, I mean, you might have certain more arguments, maybe more propensity for arguments with people in love and romance and children at this time. But remember, being Libra, there might be some passive aggressiveness tied into this, and and it may not be the actual combative situations, as opposed to maybe, for example, somebody just ignoring, like if you say something and someone disagrees with the person, not responding or not complying with a certain request, things of that nature. So anyway, well, Jupiter will be in Scorpio still, of course, and the sixth house will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time for Gemini, well, there could be an expansion, enlargement of matters connected in the workplace. It could be sometimes an expansion of surreptitious behavior at that place of employment with people in their daily routine. This is also, I mean, you look at the sixth house in one's chart, it also could be a very powerful transformation. Perhaps it's luck through transformation of health. In some cases, though, this could also be an enlargement of health issues. That could be Scorpio-related. It could be something with the pelvic or groin area. And especially if somebody has Gemini rising and at the time of the transit, or at this time is Jupiter, if Jupiter makes an inconjunct aspect to the Gemini ascendant from the sixth house, and it could also obviously could be tied into a Gemini related problem, health issues such as the arms or hands or fingers, such as hands like fingers, carpal tunnel, for example. So anyway, well, Saturn will still be in Sagittarius, of course, and the seventh house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, Gemini may feel some restrictions and limitations, perhaps connected with their partnership situation with a significant other. There might be more responsibilities tied into legalities, to dealing with open adversaries. An open adversary may actually be somebody older. It could be a person of authority, perhaps, and somebody that might be kind of like a sagacious personality or somebody very philosophical. And it could also be about taking responsibility in their relationships, using a lot of that Sagittarius-like sagacious energy and wisdom. So anyway, well, Uranus will still be in Aries this month for November. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So for Gemini, there might be some, their goals and aspirations could be tied into something really connected with innovation, ingenuity, and very pioneering. These ideas might come very quickly, like in a flash at this time. It could also indicate perhaps a lot of this erratic energy tied into friends and acquaintances, such as lose one, get one, friends coming and going, fluctuation connected with friends and acquaintances, and really, and also the 11th house, I mean, looking at the future, could be it could be tied into something very unusual or something tied into an esoteric subject such as astrology. So anyway, and it could also be that there might be one or more friends or acquaintances exhibiting some kind of ingenious or unusual quality at this time. So the next thing, okay, Neptune will still be in Pisces, and of course the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time for Gemini, well, this might mark some, maybe some confusion associated with a person in authority, with the dominant parent, which is generally the father. In some cases, it can indicate perhaps some drug use or recreational drug use, alcohol use by the dominant parent, which is generally the father, by an authority figure. It could also be about a lot of confusion in career matters, or maybe the Gemini at this time may become interested in a Neptune-like career, such as photography, spirituality, the metaphysical, something with chemistry. And this is also, I mean, the real strong negative I see in this possibly is that, I mean, the 10th house is about one's reputation, and really the reputation might be tied in some cases to deception, to some kind of slander, for example, that something that's done to ruin attempt to ruin Gemini's reputation at this time, and done with a lot of this Pisces like deception. So anyway, well, as far as November goes, well, of course, Pluto's still in Capricorn, and the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, well, in some cases, though it's rare, that a death could occur with somebody that Gemini has an intimate relationship with, a sexual partner. This could also, on the positive side, I mean, it could mean Pluto, Saturn is about restriction, limitation. Pluto can flat out obliterate and destroy. And Pluto maybe there's some eradication of some credit card debt, some debt in general for Gemini at this time. It could even be something tax, government related, being we're talking about Capricorn. This could be also about transformation for Gemini through an 8th house matter, such as astrology, psychology, the occult, supernatural, some kind of investigation, something that involves deep research, perhaps. So, I mean, in through the deep research, maybe it has some kind of transforming effect on Gemini's life. So, anyway, well, the North Node will still be in Leo at this time. So the thing is, the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So this could be a time for Gemini where there could be this focus. It's about really what Gemini is supposed to be moving toward at this time is taking pride and dignity in matters with communications, siblings if applicable, maybe matters pertaining to neighbors as well. This could also, I mean, it could be about really maybe getting some attention-seeking energy connected with some kind of writing, with some kind of communication. It could be doing things with this Leo magnanimous and generous energy for neighbors. It could even be doing things connected with local, not local, but just transportation in general, working on vehicles, for example. In doing so and getting the credit and recognition for doing so. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. Now, also the Black Moon Lilith will be in Sagittarius as far as November goes, from the 1st to the 9th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, for Gemini, there might be something that might come out that's associated, that could, in some cases, could be a Sagittarius, or somebody that embodies Sagittarius-like characteristics. That could be an open adversary that's actually unveiled, that maybe that's revealed at this time. It could be something, maybe a warped philosophy comes out from somebody that might be a significant other, or it could be somebody in a business partnership situation. It could also be something that is connected maybe with the legal history with Gemini, something maybe in some cases a record of Gemini comes out and is unveiled and is spoken with this real veritable like Sagittarius truth and with a lot of bluntness. So I mean, those are some things to look at. Also Black Moon Lilith, as far as November goes, will be in Capricorn from the 9th into the 30th, and the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, there might be some kind of unveiling or something comes out, maybe connected with somebody that Gemini is having an intimate relationship with. A sexual partner might be something where there might be a very despondent or depressive side, maybe that is revealed, or some kind of real negative, pessimistic outlook might be coming out. Perhaps this could also be something that maybe is revealed, which does seem very depressing to Gemini. That might be something else in an 8th house matter. It could be some kind of tax liability, for example, or some debt. It could even be, in some cases, it could be maybe something connected with death in some isolated situation. So anyway, as far as last but not least, as far as November goes, Chiron will still be in Pisces, I should say, and the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time, Gemini may experience maybe some wounds and suffering, maybe to some degree connected with the dominant parent, which is generally the father. It could be maybe somebody in authority. This could also mean Pisces energy. It could be sometimes, in some cases, could be about alcohol use or drug use. So it could be maybe an authority figure. Maybe it could be a deceptive authority figure or a dominant parent, which is being deceptive, and Gemini maybe suffers a little because of this. It could be over just general ambivalence and confusion over career matters, maybe about oversensitivity in these areas at this time. And it could be, like I said, it could be wounds. It could be suffering from somebody that's connected with the 10th house, such as a dominant parent, an authority figure, some kind of superior. Maybe that may be succumbing to some kind of alcohol or drug use. But a lot of this, and it could also be to just general Pisces lethargy in some cases, and being overly passive. It could. I mean, obviously, if you're overly passive or being, or lethargic, obviously, in many cases, things just won't get done. So, but anyway, on the positive side, though, it could be that, remember that Chiron is also about healing. So it could be that Gemini might be going out and maybe healing others' reputation, maybe matters pertaining to their career and public image, and doing so with a lot of this Pisces self-sacrifice, compassion, and empathy. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my November 2017 Gemini horoscope forecast. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my November 2017 Cancer horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.